question from Riddy, our in-house immortal grinding for Radiant Jet main, and he's wondering about mollies, which would be very tough depending on the skill of the defender that you're facing. And at this level, it's going to be pretty high, and usually the mollies are going to be pretty well timed to cut you off from the team. So Riddy's saying, something I always struggled with as Jet is getting when the enemy mollies the choke. Do we wait out the molly and then continue the hit? Does molly equal rotate? The game becomes much harder for me as a Jet player when it's not just an instant sight take. Doesn't it become harder for all of us? Sometimes I'll use dash, then molly goes off, and I dash through it, and I'm alone. That never works. Sometimes I don't dash. Sometimes I don't, and my dash runs out, and I can no longer entry. Is the play to fake a smoke and not proc dash, so I fake out their mollies? What if they're waiting for me to enter them to pop the mollies? I don't know what to do. Lamau, help me, Shiro. All right. So we already had Alua give some input on this. He said you can still entry without dash as you bring your omen for a deep smoke and make your own smoke caterpillar to entry. It's harder, but a good backup to let your team enter without you having the best space making utility. Again, I understand that the advice of learn jet and non-agent with a dash would not work the best with you. It is still super important for you to learn the entry without your dash, as it still needs some team utility and help, but you could easily learn how with a bit of communication help. I think that's a good point. You don't need dash to entry. The whole point of your entry is that you are dragging crosshairs, so smoke caterpillar or updrafting can do the same, can have the same effect. However, we're going to talk about dash and mollies. So we're going to go over 5 scenarios. Okay, first of which is they pop the molly perfectly as you dash into sight, splitting you from the team. This is going to be that first thing that Riddy brought up. And when this happens, ideally, you just wait for your smoke to run out, and as it's running out, you throw another smoke at your feet. That's it. Just hope that your team will run out and be able to help you. And otherwise, you can ask for utility from your teammates. Like if you have a KO or a Sky, you can ask for a flash so that you can still try to make something happen. But ideally, try to wait for them a bit. And a big part of this is just when you're dashing, always be staring at your minimap every time. If you had a face cam, I should see your eyes flicking top left every single time. And when you're in a smoke, you got to be looking at your minimap. Next, we've got they pop molly early and you've already procced your dash. Now, in this case, it depends on the molly. So KJ mollies last 4 seconds. Maybe 5. I don't know. It's about the length of your smoke. But your dash lasts 12 seconds. So she can pop both her mollies and you'll still have dash. So the question then becomes, are you going to commit or no? And that really just comes down to, have 3 enemies revealed themselves? Yes or no? If yes, leave. If no, commit. They pop molly early and you haven't proc dash. Same thing as last time, except now it's an easier decision to rotate because you still have your dash for entering anywhere else. They molly late, and at least 2 teammates are scaled past the molly. Now, in this case, you just keep fighting. Hopefully, like one of your long distance initiators is like stuck behind, and they can like throw something backside to help you fight. But if you have 2 teammates with you, you just take the fights because you shouldn't be committing to a site that has 3+ defenders anyway. So if you just trade each other out, you'll be a-okay. Then in the last case, this is the most important. You know they have mollies and when they like to pop them. So this can be important if you're, for example, facing someone, Brimstone, Viper, whatever, that likes to throw their mollies early, or you know what causes their Killjoy to pop their mollies. So you can use this for slower play, for fakes, and for rotation plays, wherein you will throw a Jet Smoke, or you will throw a Breach Stun and a Silva Dart, or any combination of utility required, ideally free utility, in exchange for them popping their mollies due to them being afraid of you guys executing. Now, do note, this will only work once or twice. However, once this does work, it makes it a lot easier to get the scenario of they pop molly late and 2 of your teammates are skilled past it. So it's really important that if you notice they're mollying early, or you're noticing that they're mollying perfectly to split you up, you're going to want to invest some utility and see and experiment with changing their molly timings so that you can make your execute go a lot smoother. Because, like you pointed out masterfully, the execute's a lot easier when you could just dash in, right? When you don't have to worry about anything else. But, you know, if you're on that Radiant grind, you're going to have to worry about some other stuff. And this is a big thing. You really want to mix up and force them to mix up their molly timings. I really hope that helped, Rudy. Can't wait to see you hit Radiant, man.